Not really personal, but is it true if you masturbate too much, could you run out of semen? Answering your juiciest medical questions from Discord. Basically, it's like an online community or social club where you can hang and chat about whatever topic you want. Yep, let's dive right in. All right, Discord, question number 1. Hey doc, does tattooing on our body pollutes our blood? Well, actually, really good question. So we think about going to, or if somebody wants a tattoo, they go to a tattoo parlor that's like the cleanliness, the most sterile. But the bigger question is the ink itself, what's in it? They actually found in studies where people actually have pollutants and issues relating to the lymph nodes near where the tattoo was. The ink that they're using can have metals in it, and so the body kind of absorbs them over time. The ink should be pretty inert as long as it's staying within the right tissue of the body. Adding anything to our body, your body might have some sort of reaction to it. So then the other component, what I just touched upon before, was dirty needles or non-sterile needles or dirty environments. This could pollute your blood in the sense that you can become septic or get an infection and get a blood infection, which we call bacteremia, related to the fact that you're actually microneedling bacteria into your skin, which then can get absorbed into your bloodstream, and then you get super sick and may end up at the hospitals. But do you guys have any tats? Let me know in the comments below. All right, next question, number 2. Is it true that masturbation causes muscle imbalance? It depends is the answer. So it could cause muscle imbalance if you don't balance how you're doing it. So if you are somebody that uses only one side of your body the whole time, then yes, there's going to be some sort of muscle imbalance. If you're a switch hitter and you can go righty and you can go lefty, then you're gonna have more of a balance. But is it a bad thing? Are you going to get a massively really large arm versus a smaller one? Probably unlikely. You probably don't have to worry about significant muscle imbalances. Hey, all right, question number 3. I was binging your videos, thank you very much, and I got a question. It's kind of weird, but what does a human brain smell like? Interesting question. So in ER, traumatic situation where you're going to see brain, you're also going to have a lot of blood around, and the blood is typically what smells, and it has a metallic-y type smell to it. You have iron in your system, right? That's how you have red blood cells there, and it's related to oxygen carrying capacity and all that jazz that we learned in science class. Question number 4. What to do if you have poop stuck inside your hair?
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
You can cut it out, you can shave the hair, that sort of thing. You can potentially try to pull it out, which will hurt. You can try to soak it, wash it, take a shower, use warm compress. But at the end of the day, most of the time, it's probably easiest just to cut it out with maybe some scissors. I wouldn't shave down there. That'd probably make a mistake and slip and cut yourself. Also, try to avoid ripping it out, because when you rip it out, you open up those hair follicles, increase the risk of infection down there. And I promise you, you don't want to get something called a perianal or perirectal abscess, because then it could potentially lead to surgery. All right, next question. Does sleeping with a full stomach give you nightmares?
I'm your best nightmare. I'm your worst nightmare.
Yes, it potentially actually could. Even though you're asleep, a lot of your different functions are going on. So it's increasing your brain waves, which then as you increase brain waves, you potentially can, increase how with dreams, nightmares, that sort of thing. So there are some studies out there that actually name some specific foods that tend to give people nightmares, like chocolate, apples, sugar, spicy foods. Also consider medications too. So some medications over others might increase the amount of dreams or how vivid your dreams are, that to where you might remember them. All right, next question. Is alcohol, like a single of 80 proof, a viable treatment for mild food poisoning, or is it just a placebo of mine? I would advise staying away from alcohol if you have food poisoning.
Look away! Make it no!
So alcohol will actually irritate the stomach lining, which potentially could increase your risk of having nausea and vomiting. So it actually could potentially make it worse, cause more irritation. They have done some studies that if you do have some alcohol with dinner, it potentially could prevent food poisoning. All right, next question. Don't know if this is embarrassing, but if something gently touches or brushes my left hand and tickles it, then I feel the same tickle in my mouth. What's up with that? Interesting. They've actually done studies where literally they're touching somebody's hand and you can feel it, and then they put a fake hand there, and they were doing tests back and forth between the two, and eventually they were touching the fake hand because they visually saw it. They thought, even though they were touching the prosthetic or the fake hand, they could feel it in their brain without, being able to identify it, that there could be the fact that your brain is actually just playing a trick on you. All right, next question. How long can you hold on your urine? My first advice is don't do that.
Stop, we're going to the bathroom. Just go, man.
I've seen people who come to the emergency department who have urinary retention. That is the word we use when the bladder is so full but you can't get it out. It's extremely painful. It hurts. It can hurt your kidney. It can cause kidney failure. If you hold on to it too long, it can also cause bacterial infections. Next question. Not really personal, but is it true if you masturbate too much, could you run out of semen? Good question, actually. So you have semen and you have sperm, right? So semen is kind of the fluid that the sperm live in as it gets ejaculated out. You don't run out of sperm. We're making 2,000 sperm every few seconds. The semen made from like your seminal vesicles could potentially run out. Next question, should you pick or forcefully rip a blister off of yourself? I did, and it feels like it burns sometimes. I would advise not to. Typically we get blisters from excess friction. You can get a blister from a sunburn as well. So blister, fluid-filled pocket, that fluid is actually sterile. It's actually protecting the underlying tissue. Sometimes it gets huge and big and it's kind of in the way. It will typically rupture and pop on its own. And then the skin over top of it will actually kind of just die off on its own as well. The reason why it burns and is uncomfortable on the underside is now it's exposed skin. So it's just like an open wound. So that's why it typically burns. All right, great questions. I love getting medical questions. Please keep them coming. Check out my Discord, binge watch everything on my channel. I appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching and stay healthy, my friends.